There are a ton of builds in Destiny, and with Frontiers on the horizon, I asked you all what you thought was the best build for every subclass on each class. Those votes and responses are what sparked this series to life, and I'm making these videos in hopes that they can be used as refreshers for current players and complete guides for new players looking to hop into the game. All of these builds will not be using the seasonal artifact and can be used in any endgame content that you would like to do. So if you want a build to work towards that should last theoretically forever, look no further. Once everything is posted, there will be a total of 18 builds for you to chase after, so if you're curious about another playstyle, definitely be sure to check them all out. I've been working on this project for quite a while, and it has definitely taken a long time, so I really hope you all can enjoy them. If it wasn't for you, series like this could not exist, so I just wanted to say thank you. And finally, if you are new here and enjoying the content, consider doing all the normal YouTube stuff and joining our Discord server. All of your support really does go a long way and is genuinely appreciated. But without further ado, thanks for clicking on the video and let's jump right into the build. All right, everyone, we have made it to the final recap build video. This one is going to be all about the Void Hunter, and in all honesty, Void Hunter has a good amount of builds and also a good amount of exotics to run. This one was honestly a hard decision to put together, but since this is also going for trying to be the easiest build, that's why I ended up going with this one. However, if you want to see some other good Void builds, I've made some on my channel, but also be sure to go check out all the other amazing content creators that have posted some as well. But with this specific one, you're going to be able to chain invisibility, have permanent volatile rounds, weaken everything you would ever want to, and also have the potential to buff your team. It's extremely easy to play, it's extremely good, and it can offer a lot once you get the hang of it. All right, so first things first, let's start off taking a look at our exotic armor, and that is going to be the Falcon's Halberd. It has the exotic perk See Me Feel Me. Your void weapons gain volatile rounds after you emerge from being invisible. When you are invisible and defeat a combatant while using a finisher, all of your weapons gain bonus damage. You and your nearby allies gain a reserve overshield and improved class ability regeneration. These reserve overshields can be deployed by using a class ability. So obviously we have another paragraph exotic here, but if there's one takeaway, just know whenever you emerge from invisibility, you're going to gain volatile rounds. That is going to be 90% of how you use this exotic. You're just always going to be coming in and out of invisibility and constantly granting volatile rounds over and over again. Now, if you do take advantage of the other benefit that if you get a finisher while you're invisible, you're going to get increased weapon damage for a very short period of time, but you will also get these reserve overshields for you and your allies. This is where that team support can come into play, because obviously it's not too difficult to just get a finisher while you're invisible. This means now when you or your team uses that class ability, they just get an overshield. That kind of helps out with some extra survivability, but again, not many people are going to be playing into this too much, but it is a nice little benefit to have. And on top of that overshield, it also does grant increased class ability regeneration, which is nice for the hunter and obviously just any other class in general, but the hunter can kind of play into that with some of the aspects. But once again, we mainly are just going to be using this to grant volatile rounds every time we come out of invisibility. And since invisibility is such a strong part of the build, we need to take a look at our subclass, because this is how you're going to go invisible to begin with. So first things first, you're going to want to run something like Vanishing Step. So dodging makes you invisible. This one is pretty self-explanatory. When you use your dodge, you're going to go invisible. This is great to get your first initial proc of invisibility, and once again, the moment you come out of it, your Falcons is going to grant you volatile rounds to your void weapons. Now the next aspect is where it really comes into play, and there's honestly two choices you can run. We're going to mainly talk about Stylus Executioner first. So defeating a weakened, suppressed, or volatile target grants invisibility and true sight. After performing a Stylus Execution, your next melee attack while invisible weakens targets. So now every time you're defeating a void debuff target, and as it read, volatile will count as a void debuff target, you're going to go invisible. So since Vanishing Step is granted invisibility, the Falcons is granted volatile rounds, that means every single time you kill enemies with these volatile rounds, you're going to go invisible again. And that's how you're going to get this constant chain reaction of invisibility, volatile rounds, invisibility, volatile rounds. It's also worth noting that this combo is not only good for offensive capabilities, but since you're also going to be permanently invisible, it's also very good for survivability as well. Now I do want to mention one more aspect, and that is going to be on the prowl. So essentially, this is just going to mark a target, you kill them, they're going to form a smoke cloud, then you can run through that smoke cloud to go invisible. So that's going to be another way you can keep your invisibility going to obviously proc things like your Falcons. But on top of that, whenever you kill a marked target, it's going to grant you class ability regen, melee, grenade, everything of the sort, and it also buffs your team as well. And on top of that, also reload speed and stability. So if you're playing into a team-based build, obviously with the other part of Falcons, you can definitely do that. You can kind of play into this aspect, play around these smoke clouds, play around just getting your dodge back because of the class ability regen, and on the prowl is honestly a very good aspect for this as well. Now, if you just, again, want to not really stress about it, you can just take something like Stylus Executioner, but again, you do get 3 fragments on the prowl. You can also buff your team with it quite a lot, and either will work just fine. It just kind of depends on how you want to view this playstyle. But now let's jump into the fragments, and our first one's going to be Echo of Cessation. So whenever we finish a target, it's going to make all the enemies around that target volatile, and whenever we defeat a volatile target, grants a Void Breach. Obviously, this is very good for Falcons because this has a finisher aspect, and it also does grant volatile rounds, so we can take advantage of both of this right here. And if you don't know, Void Breaches will actually grant you class ability energy and also play into our other fragment, Echo of Starvation. So whenever we pick up a Void Breach or an Overpower, it's going to grant Devour. Devour is very good because you're going to heal on every kill. It also will grant you grenade energy on every kill, and you're going to be able to permanently proc this because you're always going to have Void Breaches up everywhere because of Echo of Cessation. And if that wasn't enough, you also can proc it with an Orb of Power. The next up is just going to be Echo of Remnant, so our lingering grenades can just last longer. I like to run a Vortex grenade with this specifically. Now it makes the Vortex last longer. Since you have Devour, you get your grenade back pretty quick as well. And then we can also use Echo of Undermining, so your Void grenades can weaken targets. So now your Vortex grenade is essentially just acting as a way to weaken targets. It's also just good at dealing damage too, but if playing it into really team support based build, by far Night Stalker is the best for just being able to apply weaken, because now you're going to have a long lasting grenade that will apply weaken, and you can get it back quick with Devour. But now let's talk about the abilities real quick, and this again will further play into that weaken aspect. Obviously, we already talked about the Vortex Grenade and how it works with our fragments, but next up is just going to be the Snare Bomb. The Snare Bomb is also nice because you can throw this on a target. It will also apply a weaken. So now you have a grenade that can apply a weaken, and you also have a melee that can apply a weaken. And then on top of that, it would take something like Gambler's Dodge. Every time you dodge, you're going to get your Snare Bomb back, so you can have this weaken up quite a lot. And the other nice benefit of Snare Bomb is that it also is going to disorient nearby targets, so you can basically kind of use this as like a blinding grenade while also weakening targets. And since you want to use your Gambler's Dodge to proc things like Vanishing Step, you're going to always have this melee energy up as well. Now finally is just your super. I just like taking Shadow Shot Deadfall again to play into that weakened fantasy, but I mean, if you want to take something like Spectral Blades, I guess you can. It's not the greatest, but it's a Roman super, so you will get it pretty quick. And Mobius Quiver, I wouldn't really recommend it. I would just take Deadfall if you are taking a Tether or Shadow Shot. Now for the weapons with this build, in all honesty, it's up to you. The only thing you have to note is that you obviously want to run a Void weapon so you can take advantage of the volatile rounds. Having a Void Heavy is honestly really nice with this, because when you go into a boss fight, you can just dodge, you're going to proc your Falcons, and now your Void Heavy is just going to be doing a little bit extra damage because of the volatile rounds. Now volatile rounds obviously is also very good for ad clears, so if you're running a primary weapon, make sure it is Void. Something like Graviton Lance is very, very good with this, but you can also run just any other legendary Void. It's totally fine, and you're going to be able to spread this volatile literally everywhere because of Falcons. And then for the stats, definitely go with 100 resilience, get 30% damage reduction, 100 discipline so you can get your grenade back as fast as possible. You don't really need to worry about your melee too much since you're going to get your Gambler's Dodge back to get your melee. And then I opted to put the rest in mobility. Honestly, if you could go for more mobility, I think it might be worth it. But again, you do have to remember, you will get the Void Breaches to grant you class ability energy. And if you are taking something like On the Prowl, you will get class ability energy from this as well, alongside if you go for an invisible finisher with Falcons. Then jumping into the armor mods, this is what I'm running if you'd like to copy them down. But taking a further look, first off, we're going to be running a Harmonic Siphon, so our Void weapons can make Orbs of Power. Orbs are going to be very good for your team. It can proc things like Armor Charge and also play into Echo of Starvation. Next up is Ashes to Assets, so we get bonus super energy on grenade kills. Since we can use our grenade a lot because of Devour, it's also going to apply that weaken. We can get some extra super energy off of it. Next up is Dynamo, so whenever we use our class ability near targets, we're going to get some extra super energy since we're doing this all the time anyway, to get our Snare Bomb back and also to go invisible. This is just some extra super energy as well. Now for our arms, I'd like to take a Harmonic Loader so I can increase your reload speed of my Void weapons. Again, since we're playing into volatile rounds, playing into this Void weapon build is obviously very, very good. And then next up is just 2 bolstering detonations. So whenever I use my grenade, I will actually get some class ability energy back. These do have diminishing returns when you do stack them, but in all honesty, there isn't too much else here to take. You're getting your melee back already with class ability, so you don't really need to take anything here to get your class ability back. If you wanted to take something like an impact deduction, so when you cause damage to the melee, you get some grenade energy, you could, since I guess you can't spam your Snare Bomb with the Gambler's Dodge, but it's totally up to you. I like to just play in this because I can throw my grenade quite a lot. Now, next up is just going to be our chest piece, and that's going to just be 3 resistant mods, so I have to stop for the content that you are going into. And next up is going to be our boots. So we have a recuperation, innervation, absolution. So recuperation will give health whenever we pick up an orb. On top of that, it'll also grant devour because of starvation, so it's very easy to survive. Also with that invisibility. Next up with innervation, absolution, these are going to give energy back. Innervation gives grenade energy, absolution gives energy for everything. So this is just going to help you spam your grenade even more while also getting some class ability energy back as well. Now, finally, it's just a powerful attraction, so this will pick up all the orbs around us when we use our class ability. Since we're going to be doing that a lot to go invisible and also get our melee back, we're now just going to be able to pick all the orbs up, which will provide things like Starvation, all of our boot mods. And then next up is going to be a proximity ward. So when we go for a finisher, we will get a powerful overshield. Since Falcons can play into a finishing aspect of the build, this is great to have because you'll be invisible, you get the overshield, and you're basically just not going to die. Even harder content, and you'll also get the benefits of the Falcons. Then finally, it's just a special finisher. So whenever I go for a finished enemy, when I have 3 armor charge stacks, I will make special ammo for me and my team. Since this is a support based build, this is nice to have, so now you can make ammo for your team. And it is worth noting that for the helmet, if you do run something like heavy ammo finder and heavy ammo scout, if you do run something like Gravis Lance, this will proc a lot more often. And now you can also make heavy for your team extremely easy. And then, like I've done at the end of all these videos, I do want to talk about the artifact really quick. Yes, you don't have to run a single artifact perk for this build to work, but obviously if you take some of these, it's going to make the build a lot better, and there's nothing wrong with that. This season specifically, we have a lot of things to do with Void, a lot of things to do with volatile rounds, a lot of things to do with the weekend, which obviously is the main premise of this build, so you can have them even more, plot more weekends. It's very, very good if you do come in here and take these. So if Frontiers comes around, you see anything to do with volatile rounds, weekend, Void, overshields, anything like that, definitely just be sure to come in here and click on them, and you're going to make this build a lot better. And then for the final part of the build, this is the Transmog I'm running. Obviously, again, going for the Amethyst Veil theme here, but just like I did with my other 2 builds, I think this hunter actually turned out looking pretty cool. I went for a very almost spy theme look in a way, but obviously playing into that dark Void aspect as well. Overall, I think it turned out looking pretty cool. If you want to make your hunter look like this, definitely be sure to copy it down. But anyway, that's going to do it all for the Void Hunter and the final video of this recap series. It was definitely a challenge to make full-on build guides 18 days in a row, but I'm happy I took that challenge, and I'm very happy with the way it all turned out. I really hope this helped you out. If you are a new or returning player, get back to the game with the new expansions coming out. And also, if you're currently playing or a veteran player, I hope you at least learn one thing new with this series. I know there's already going to be a lot of comments of, oh, this build is how many ever years old? I made this build so long ago, and they didn't listen to this part or listen to the intro, and they don't fully understand the concept behind this series. But for all of you that did watch and do care, I really do appreciate it. The goal of this channel is to help out everyone from a literal beginning standpoint all the way up to players that have been playing the game for 10 years like I have. But of course, I couldn't do any of that if it wasn't for all of your support, so I truly appreciate everything that you all do. From the likes, comments, views, anything of the sort, it genuinely does go a long way, and I cannot thank you all enough. I love each and every single one of you, and I cannot wait to see you all in Frontiers. But anyway, though, that's all from me. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you all have a great day. Peace.